Hello, everyone, and welcome back. That's right, it's me, your host, Kamilian. I'm over here now. I'm not over there because someone else is over there, but I'm here, and that's really all that matters, isn't it?
You're pointing to nowhere.
I'm on my screen. Anyway,
Yeah, I think you have things mirrored.
as you can clearly see, I'm here with two of my friends, and I'm pretty sure a ditto. I don't know who is who. Pretty sure I've used that intro before, but I don't know who is who. What I do know is their names. We have Ginger, Matt, and Rem. Ginger being our lovely guest this week.
I wouldn't use the word
You're
lovely.
gesturing in the wrong way.
I am, and I've also just... No, I'm not on my screen. I also just realized I had not changed that. Cool. Subject, Gen 1 Pokemon. That is what we're talking about today, not Marvel. That was last time. So, look, let's just start things off. Because I do have an agenda. I doubt we're going to follow it, but let's start off with the agenda. Your favorite Gen 1 starter.
Hang on, run that by me again. What did you say at the end? Data.
Starter Pokemon.
Oh, starter. Right, that makes far more sense.
He totally said Dada.
I definitely heard data.
This is off to a great start. I'm going to include Yellow's Pikachu in this, just because. So we got 4 picks.
No,
So-
that's not fair because it forces you on. Like Yellow forces you to have the Pikachu.
It's technically a starter in Gen 1. Fine. Of the 3.
You don't get a choice.
Of the 3, then. Who's your go-to? Mitch.
Most likely
why?
Bulbasaur. It's just a nice all-rounder. Felt very comfortable with the startup moves, whereas first time I played through, since I was playing Red, I started with Charmander, and I found that you've got to essentially power level him at the start to make him useful in the rock gym at the start.
Nah, you can go off. You can go off to You can go off to the left from Viridian City or whatever it is, and catch either a Mankey or a Nidoran male or female.
Nidoran, low kick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Double kick. Both get fighting moves, so both are very good against ground.
But at the same
rock.
time, we're saying the starter.
Yes, but I'm just saying you can make up for Charmander and get a fighting move.
Yep.
Yes, but you are making up for Charmander then.
Correct. You're both
Just
correct.
for the start.
I mean, this is probably the only time I'm going to say this all night, but the game as a whole, the starter pretty much doesn't matter. Like, I have a personal favorite, but
you should pick anyone but Squirtle.
I disagree with that statement as well.
Oh no, because I can tell you why.
Okay, Mitch, let's just sit back, go grab some popcorn. Let them have at it. They've pressed caps lock, and away they go.
In Red version, the only other fire types you can get are Rapidash, like Ponyta and Rapidash, Growlithe and Arcanine, and Moltres, and Flareon. So every one of them but Moltres has the problem that they have a higher attack stat than their special stat. Like, they are much better as physical attackers. But the problem with Moltres is it's slower than Charizard, and it's just going to get mauled by any rock type move. So in blue version, you can get away with picking Bulbasaur because you have access to Ninetales at that point.
So, I mean, I'm gonna argue the point straight away. Do you actually need a fire type in your final 6? And honestly, the answer is no.
But if you want one, you should not pick
Magmar?
Squirtle. Magmar is terrible.
I don't recall you saying Magmar, though.
No, you didn't.
I didn't, but I don't think of Magmar because it's ass. It even has a butt for a head. Look at it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, kick back into the argument.
Now, as for water types, you get given one of the best overused water types in the game in Lapras. Just in the game. No matter which version you choose.
That's because you surf on it.
Well, it's also one of the Pokemon used and overused. Blastoise has never seen an overused from a competitive standpoint.
No.
Isn't Squirtle picked for speedrunning?
Squirtle is
I
absolutely
don't-
picked for speedrunning. So in
But-
Pokemon Blue, the reason you pick Squirtle for your speedrun is you go up to the first town, which I'm blanking out of the name.
No, not Viridian. Pewter.
Go to Pewter. No, it's not even. It's before Pewter.
No,
then Viridian City.
It is
Viridian
Viridian.
City. Yeah. So you go to Viridian City. You go off to the side. You pick yourself up a female Nidoran, and you use Bulbasaur to get through the first gym. After that, Nidoran becomes Nidoqueen, and that is your workhorse the entire run through. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you know,
Didn't you
outside,
just
but
say Bulbasaur?
He did.
Squirtle to get through the first gym.
Mhm.
Squirtle to get through the first gym, and then everything else is.
See,
your
Squirtle will also get
Nidoqueen.
you through Rock Tunnel. Not Rock Tunnel, Mount Moon.
Yeah.
Whereas
So-
Bulbasaur will get you through past Geodudes, but it suffers against Zubat. Poison.
I mean, at that point, you switch into a fighting type anyway. It's
Yeah.
not terrible in Mount Moon against Zubats.
Still, Squirtle can hold its own.
Yep,
I'm not
absolutely can.
taking speed runs into account though, because I don't do those. I'm just talking your average run.
Speed runs are the most interesting form of the Gen 1 games now.
Nuzlocke.
Huh?
Nuzlocke.
Nah, I still disagree with that.
Nah.
So, Ginger, what's
Still,
your starter?
My starter, probably Bulbasaur.
Okay, and the why?
I like Venusaur.
Yeah, I do. Bulbasaur will always have a special place in my heart.
Yep.
Venusaur is also my favorite Mega. Just
Okay.
because it's become so broken.
See, the later games where it's like, oh, there's like 50, there's now a new different way to Mega Evolve or Super Evolve or DX Evolve or some other stupid evolution thing that's a one-off thing off a watch or something.
I wish
That
they would
actually annoys the
freaking
shit
bring
out
it
of me.
back.
Huh?
I want them to bring Megas back, but that we're getting
Yeah.
way off topic at that point.
And that's
Yeah.
the thing. If you actually look in the descriptions for those super evolutions and all that, every one of them puts the Pokemon into constant pain or anguish.
Where?
Yep.
Yeah. In the Mega Evolution, it says that they go into a rage because they're in constant pain.
Yep. He's not wrong.
I missed that.
Anyway, I'm a Charmander slut.
That's not a surprise to me
That
at all.
that was my first starter I ever picked because it was right there on the box. But no, like subsequent playthroughs, I liked Bulbasaur.
I'm pretty sure, I can't recall. I'm pretty sure that the first one I ever picked, though, was a Charmander, and it was because my neighbor had Blue, I think. I'd play it on her Game Boy now and then. The first Pokemon game I owned, though, was Yellow, so I didn't get the choice on my first game.
I mean, look, Pikachu is still my favorite starter by a considerable margin.
No.
He's not the best starter by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, he's fucking terrible for the first gym. And that's when you really need your starter to come on strong.
Yep.
Unless you're going to grind the shit out of it, like go find yourself a Nidoran or go and find yourself a Mankey or
Or
something
pump up
early in the
your
game.
Pikachu in a windmill.
Yeah, or put your
Not a
Win-
windmill, watermill thing.
Well, no, yeah. All you got to do is you got to have him use his electric moves, hit the sprinkler system, cause it to rain down
turns
onto
into
the
a water
Onyx,
fight- water
and then
effect,
hit
yeah.
him with Thunder Shock.
Look, let's not talk about the logic of the game. I mean,
No,
Ash,
this is the anime. This is the
Ash is the employee that everybody wants. You know, he's 10-year-old with 21 years of experience.
Yeah.
And it's I can tell you why.
Why?
He saw Ho-Oh, and that
Oh,
caused him
yeah.
to be forever young.
But look, MatPat did a theory on that on his actual age, and the show actually has pretty consistent and accurate timeline in terms of seasons throughout the seasonal changes throughout the season, all seasons. That's annoying grammar, but you get my point. You get my point.
Sure. I mean, look again. Like it's the same thing I've said about a lot of stuff. If you start picking at the threads of it, it falls apart
Yeah,
really
exactly.
quickly.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
It's still fun to do.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's got its place.
Yeah. Oh dear. Rightio. So on the back of that, let's just rip the band-aid off. Actually, this one I feel like it's the less of the two evils. Let's go with most disliked. What Pokemon did you just not like at all in Gen 1?
Mm,
Porygon.
Why?
I just don't like the design.
Yeah?
My least
mm,
favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, yeah. Burn everyone off a bit there.
For me, Hypno.
Hypno?
He looked creepy as all fuck.
I love Hypno for exactly that reason.
I mean, fair enough for that, but yeah, he
Look,
just looked
my least
creepy.
favorite, purely because of Mount Moon, is fucking Zubat.
Oh,
Fuck that thing.
Hmm.
You run through the caves, like, oh, fucking confusion. Oh, your Pokemon just punches itself over and over and over again. Fuck you, game.
You see, I actually got really lucky in Mount Moon. Whenever my Bulbasaur got confused, it would just go, huh, whack.
I'm confused. Also, Razor Leaf.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm doing it.
Yep, no, I had so many bad experiences playing through Mount Moon.
I'm guessing you said Zubat. I completely missed it.
Yeah, I said
Yes, he
Zubat.
did.
So, funny story that in subsequent games, after it got the Crobat evolution, I've caught a Zubat every time I can.
well, Golbat
I've
changed that for
also
me.
Golbat had a freaking terrible Gen 1 sprite. It looks so bad.
Oh, sorry, I meant Crobat, sorry. Crobat changed it for me.
Yeah. But no, like especially the Japanese sprite for Golbat. Oh my god.
Yeah, it just looks weird. I mean,
But
again, like,
no,
then you look at the modern release Pokemon, and the weirdness goes away with Golbat. Like,
yeah, but you know what I name my my Zubat every time I catch one?
What?
Cave
Wait.
herpes.
Yep, that's fair.
That is fair. Oh
Yeah.
dear. I did go to Porygon first, but I don't know. Is a toss up for me between that and Rattata. I just didn't like Rattata. It just
It's
See,
a rat.
Rattata's been broken for me purely because of Pokemon Rusty.
Rattata is like I love Rattata because people use Rattata to kill Mewtwo, and I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's always good fun.
You give it a focus sash, you give it the move Endeavor, which causes the enemy Pokemon to have the exact same HP as you do. So you go down to 1 HP, you bring them down to 1 HP, and then you quick attack them and kill them.
Yep, that's the thing.
The most powerful Pokemon to ever exist, oh, Rattata.
Exactly.
I don't know. Have you guys seen the Magikarp final Elite Four run?
No.
way
No.
back when. Not recently.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, Magikarp doing the Elite Four is one of my favorite things.
Mhm.
Only Pokemon he has.
Oh dear. So we got through that pretty easy.
Yeah,
So this is going a lot smoother than I thought so far, which is interesting.
yeah. And also, one thing that I have to say with the whole Zubat hate thing, I will freely admit, on later runs, I'd always get a Butterfree and confuse them before they can confuse me just to spite them.
Eee,
That's funny.
the spite move, I love it.
Oh dear. There was a couple of them I didn't really like, but one I didn't like the most. Yeah. Anyway, okay. I think we bring out the big guns now. Let's go straight to your favorite Gen 1 Pokemon. Why?
Mm,
Ram, kick us off, man.
Fair enough. Mine originally started off
You're wrong.
as Poliwrath.
Oh my
Which-
god, I
Yeah.
did too. Yeah, I
You
remember those days.
remember it? It absolutely screwed you over on multiple occasions as well.
Mm.
But since then, it's actually changed across the Cubone. And honestly, it's just because in most of those games, I have a thing for the outcasts. Like, in the later ones, I'm a fan of the Mimikyu.
I was gonna say that you probably like that Pokemon.
I hate Mimikyu
Yeah.
so much.
Is that the one with the giant hammer, or is that something else?
No,
No,
it's,
That's the one that
Mimikyu-
it's got the Pikachu outfit on.
Ah, yeah. I know the one you mean.
It's the Pikachu ghost.
Yeah.
And if you see it like outside of the like the covering, a horrible thing happens to you.
They say that it's so horrifying to look at that something that essentially it'll fuck you the hell up. Hence
there's
why
some
it wears the costume.
creepy. Yeah, there's some creepy Pokedex entries.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Pokemon has some dark shit in that game in general, like in the lore of the world.
Yeah,
Like the
Driftloon,
fucking-
for instance.
Yeah,
the what?
Driftloon.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, carrying kids away.
like-
taking kids. Yeah,
Just the very idea of Paris and Parasect.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
There's
That
also
poor Pokemon.
I know.
there's also Abra, who was actually it actually states was a human child who went to sleep and woke up as a Pokemon.
And then he got put into dogfighting. Ah, yeah.
I just feel sorry for Cloyster. No, is it Cloyster or is it Shelter?
Shelter who bites the tail and
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Slowpoke.
Slowpoke, yeah.
It just, I mean, it's a Pokemon in its own right. Now it's stuck biting the tail of this thing forever.
Why doesn't it
symbiotic
just-
relationship.
Why doesn't it just open its jaw back up?
That's the question. For years, I didn't think Gyarados could close its mouth. For years.
Wow.
Then I saw it close its mouth on the anime. I'm thinking,
But no,
That's the thing.
speaking of creepy stuff, can we talk about Hypno and it kidnapping people?
Mm-hmm.
As I said, Hypno is a creepy motherfucker.
Yeah, he is.
oh dear. So Cubone, Mitch.
Yeah. Yeah, just the whole thing of wearing the skull of its mother is just, oh, poor thing, you know?
But every time you see it in the anime, it goes off, man.
Cubone
Yeah,
is
it's-
fucking strong on the anime.
Yeah.
I will say that Alolan Marowak is one of my favorite newer Pokemon.
That's the ghost one, yeah?
Ghost Fire, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Got me back into Marowak. Marowak was always pretty cool, but that did a good job.
I started liking Marowak a lot in Gen 2 whenever it got the thick club item. Or was it Gen 3 that you could hold items?
Two,
No, it was
pretty
2. It was 2.
yeah. That's when they introduced berries. Better.
Yeah. So, wait. Yeah.
So we've had my one
gonna
on to the next
bug me
person.
now.
Ginger, favorite
Oh, Ginger.
Pokemon from Phase 1, from Gen 1.
So, I'm going to break this up into 2 categories. Legendary and non-legendary.
Okay, let's go non-legendary for now. We'll do another round of legendary.
Okay, Gengar.
But is your favorite Pokemon actually legendary, or is it the non-legendary? Just for
It's the
curiosity.
it's the non-legendary.
Okay, so of the two, your favorite is non-legendary anyway.
Yes.
Cool.
Gengar.
Gengar?
Yes.
Elaborate.
Ghost is my favorite type in the game.
Why?
I don't know. I just ever since I saw it, I liked it. It also helped that it was in the opening cinematic.
I was about to say the opening
Yeah.
cinematic, the opening of the very first episode. And I think the world erupted when Ash finally got one.
Oh yeah, and he helped. That's one of the Pokemon that helped him become a champion. Finally.
On a side note, how good was that moment? How validating was that? After 25 years, He actually got there. It wasn't gonna be this perpetual never getting there thing. He actually fucking did it.
I mean, again, they
Haven't
did it
seen it.
pretty well. That he sort of went into his first when the first time went into Pokemon League, he just got fucking wrecked. Like
Made it
he,
to the top
on a
16.
yeah, but I mean, he like topped out at the top 16.
Yep.
Like, and that, I mean, yeah, that's pretty good. But again, like and then he sort of slowly progressed further and further and further along.
I did like that aspect of the anime that it kept it realistic or more realistic expectations.
Yeah.
It isn't just, hey, this is Ash. He's just amazing because plot armor.
I kind of want to know what happened with the trainer, the gym trainer that had Sandshrew.
Yeah. Yeah, the one that was diving into the water.
Yeah,
It's probably an Alolan Sandslash by now.
probably.
Hmm.
So just you always like Gengar just for like the aesthetic,
Just
the
from
whole thing.
this design aspect, the typing, I liked it.
Your thoughts on having to trade to get it?
I mean, they had to do something, right?
'Cause that
They
mechanic's
wanted
been
to,
around since day dot.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They wanted to have they wanted multiplayer to be a part of those games, and having certain Pokemon that you needed to trade was fine.
Absolutely. It wasn't meant to be lock yourself away in your room to play it. It was meant to be like,
Nope.
hey man, like I've got red, you got blue, let's trade, and that's the only way to finish the Pokedex as well.
Yep.
Like it was like multiplayer games. The big thing with it is it was multiplayer games in a generation where you had like you wanted to play Mario Kart. It wasn't like, hey Kami, jump on your Switch and play Mario Kart. Let's both log on. It's like, hey, I want to play Mario Kart. Kami, I'll beat your place in 10 minutes. We're gonna sit down and bust out some Mario Kart on the SNES. Like it's going back to the old school,
Yeah.
in person, that sort of stuff. And obviously, as it's gone on over time, it's kept that basic element to it. Like, it's obviously like better technology has made it easier that we can all sit here and swap. Like Ginger, I could sit here in the newest Pokemon game and trade with you from across, like literally across continents.
Oh
But
yeah,
it's
and
still
just
that same
Wonder
thing.
Trade
Like
was
it's
awesome.
yeah. But it's still one of those things of like I don't know anybody that really got a lot of trades done with using the old Game Link cable, but um,
I
you
remember
know,
the glitches. I would exploit
Oh,
glitches in Silver till the cows come home.
Oh yeah, I
no, yeah,
remember.
no, but even going back to the whole getting your Pokedex together,
yeah,
even with it forced you to go outside for one aspect. If you wanted to complete your Pokedex, you had to go to one of the events that had Mew, or you weren't getting all 151
yeah.
because you
No,
couldn't
there
get
were
it any
ways
other
to
way.
glitch it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. There was always ways to glitch it. Like that is actually a speed run that I have zero interest in. And, like any percentage.
Yeah, glitch runs.
Yeah, the glitch runs because it's boring as fuck to watch. Like
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
I'm going to talk to this guy, then fly across the island and swim up and down the right-hand side to get 99 Master Balls so I can just fuck
yeah,
everything up.
yep.
Oh come on, we all did that once.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't work in yellow. I'd patched it by then.
Yeah.
Ah,
But yeah, that's the thing. So I just want to caveat that when I'm talking speed runs, I'm talking about like glitchless speed runs. It's
Yeah.
all 8 gyms and then the Elite Four all the
Yeah.
way through to the end, fastest. As soon as you hit
Speed runs,
that
that
win.
unlike today where they exploit every glitch under the sun, an actual proper speed run of doing the game properly.
I mean, that's been part of every speedrun thing is trying to get glitches in the game, trying to find ways to shave, a second off.
Yeah.
And that is part of any speedrunning culture. Like, and even if you're not using actual glitches, you're trying to like, hit a jump spot so that you shave half a second off your time. Like, it's shit like
Yeah.
that. And again, that side of it I have no problem with, but the Pokemon glitched runs, they just it's there's no luck to it. Like one of the thing that really like sparked my interest in especially Gen 1 speedruns. I was watching Good Games Done Fast and they did a 4-player race on Pokemon Blue. So you couldn't reset the game, you couldn't, there was a bunch of stuff around it. Like you were in from the you all started at the same time, the game loaded in, go, and it was until the 4 players had finished. And the whole thing I think took 2.5, 3 hours or something. And they weren't setting records on that at all. Like because they all made mistakes. They all had RNG, fucked them over slightly. But
Mm.
it was awesome to watch because it was that like there wasn't time to like pause the game or refer to a guide. They had to do it all from memory and from muscle memory.
Yep.
And it's one of the things that really like this is fucking cool because obviously I'd seen the glitch speed runs where they get past Cerulean City and then they go in and there's a spot that you can I don't know exactly how it works, but you end up basically just breaking the game. You overload the memory in the game, and you end up just getting into a back menu of it. That's when you get Masingo, and you just break the game at that point.
Yeah, wow. But the thing that I whilst I'm not a fan of some of the more recent entries as a whole, I will admit that they've been able to successfully do something that the majority of other companies fail miserably at.
Mhm.
And well, not fail, but the public has this reversed perception, and I'm not sure why, but Nintendo bringing out two of essentially the same game. One, make it a ton of money because some people have to buy both, right?
I have both copies in my house.
Right?
Granted,
Um,
I have a child, so that was my excuse.
yeah. And there's nothing wrong with having to
Yeah.
buy both. I want to stress that, but they
Mm.
buy both for exclusive Pokemon. And the latest one, a slightly more exclusive, a kind of exclusive storyline or an alternate storyline to a degree, tiny, but still exclusive Pokemon. Whereas if you look at any game that has an exclusive mission or character on, say, Xbox, and its clone has a different exclusive character or mission on Sony, people are up in arms.
Yeah.
It might be because, hey, I can only afford to have the one console. I might be able to afford two games, but I can't afford a second console and the game, and that I get. But kudos to Nintendo for keeping the whole dual game thing going for this long and still remaining so positive.
I mean, it's a kudos to Nintendo in general because Switch is now previous gen in the grand scheme of things, and it was the shittiest hardware spec out of all of those that generation of console. Like the PS4 and Xbox One, just from a performance perspective, just stomped the shit out of it. But they've gone high end enough, but that mixture of like I'm going to play it on the road versus I'm going to hook it up to my TV and play it with friends.
Yeah.
Like that's what the PSP missed out on. That's what all these other handheld consoles that have tried and failed. That's they haven't had that mixture of both. Like whereas the Switch, it's like, hey, you buy it out of the box and it hooks up to your TV, so you can have friends around. You can play Mario Kart, or it's got the full online capability, or you can play it on the road while you sit on the train going into work every day, or you're hopping on a plane, bust it out and play. Like it's Nintendo have honestly, in my opinion, won the console war. Like you look at the PS5 and the Xbox. Oh fuck, what is the newest Xbox?
The Xbox
Series,
Series.
Series S or whatever the fuck it is.
Oh, it's just Series because they've got an
Yeah.
S and an X, so it's just Xbox Series.
At the end of the day, they've come out and they're amazing consoles. They're amazing performance. That said, and it still comes to the same argument. Like, why would I buy a PlayStation 5 when I could buy a PC? And the money that you're starting to talk about for a console of this caliber now, you're starting to get in that PC range sort of price point. And I can then obviously scale as much as my budget will allow to build a PC that's better. Sure, exclusive argument, blah blah blah, blah whatever. Um, whereas
That's
Nintendo have the lowest price point on their console, like at
mm,
like 500 or I think I bought and Switch like
Average
the
thing Switch price in Australia, I think, is about 550,
yeah,
five
about
fifty.
550. I think I got
you
it.
can spend about 350 to get the Switch Lite.
I think average price.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're talking the full thing, like you can't compare a Switch Lite to a PS5. You sure as shit can compare a Switch OLED to a PS5, right? They sit in the same sort of market space. Yes, you can. And I would say that Switch is fucking kicking the shit out of it. Like I haven't bought a current gen console, but I have 3 Switches in my house.
In terms of the latter, yeah, I would agree. Right, they've got a good market share in that aspect, but in terms of just because Switch is finally trying to enter the full AAA market, like full thing that with their cloud gaming service,
Yeah.
which is shockingly bad. The drop in frame rate, it's just not smooth.
Mm.
Whereas Sony have picked up their game a lot to be pretty much neck and neck with Microsoft now on because both of them are very solid on their cloud streaming. But then again, they got the hardware to do it.
Mm.
Look, and my Switch, I'll live and swear by. It's fantastic. However, you know, especially Matt and Mitch especially, you know how much of an Xbox person I've been throughout the years. I'm moving further and further towards Sony for a number of reasons. One, 343 is finally properly getting on my nerves. I ignorantly and arrogantly have stayed by 343 and their Halo production since they took over. Swearing by them, praising them, going, oh, making all sorts of excuses. They're properly pissing me off now. But so Halo's losing me. That's something for another day. But some of the games that I could have bought on Xbox recently, I bought on PS5 because they utilize a better controller, a better system. The graphics are just as good. The storage is just as fast, but they've got a better controller. It feels better. Whereas when I hold a Switch, I'm holding a controller. I mean, it does the job. It's the motion sensors. They're super accurate. It's good, but it feels like exactly what it is. It's a kid's console to a degree. That's
I
nothing
get what
wrong
you're
with that.
saying there. I get what you're saying there as
But
well.
in
Like,
terms
I
of
don't disagree.
performance,
And when
there
you're
is
talking
no comparison.
well, when you're talking raw performance, of course, man. But again, you're talking $1,000 for a PS5 versus 500 odd for a Switch, right? And
Yeah.
then, hey, Kami, like, you want to pack your PlayStation, your PS5 up to swing by Mitch's place or swing by someone's place?
Exactly.
Like, it's Whereas, hey, I'm going to bring my Switch around and we're going to play some fucking Pokemon together, or we're going to play whatever the fuck together.
Yeah.
I'll just bring my Switch around.
And
My
I
Switch.
actually looked it up, and yes, Switch is absolutely smashing PS5 in the sales.
Yes, absolutely, it is.
That's why I said, like, immediately, hey, I'll match ladder point. 100%, he's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, look, and as I said, but at the same time, like, if I'm talking PS5 on my PC, I know what I'd rather have as well. Like, it's again, like, I've been sitting here playing Fallen Order. I've done it with a PlayStation 4 controller the entire time. It's hooked up to my PC at the moment because it's those sorts of games are shit to play with the sword and board. But you know what? The kids wanted to play some Overwatch too, and I played that with a keyboard and mouse because that's what I'm more comfortable with.
Yeah.
So I'm having my cake and I'm fucking eating it too with my PC.
Oh, yeah.
But again, like, full credit to Microsoft. Not Microsoft, sorry, Nintendo. I will never give credit to Microsoft. Fuck those guys. Full credit to Nintendo. They are playing, like, everyone else is playing, football, and they're busy playing cricket and fucking winning. Like,
Yeah, they saw their niche and went, this works perfectly.
yeah. And plenty of other companies. I mean, you look at the Steam Deck and that tried and failed. You look at the PSP, tried and failed. Like, you look at all these other things.
But that's the thing, right? Nintendo, I believe, on the back of your exact point just then, have gotten to the point they are because of all of their failures. Look at the Wii.
Oh, yeah.
Or the Wii U, I should say. The Wii did rather well. The Wii U, on the other hand, Look at
Yeah,
all
but
their
the thing
iterations
is-
of Game Boy. Look at the two Wii consoles. Look
Yeah.
at just all of that. They just back-to-back releasing consoles, and they're learning every iteration of the way.
Yep.
Every new release
The-
improved on the errors of the last. It
Yeah.
wasn't just a cover-up. Like, look
Oh,
at
yeah.
the original Game Boy Advance. It was more powerful, had a better screen, whatever. No proper backlight. The SP came out, flip screen, smaller, easier to hold. Fucking backlight. It lit up. You no longer needed the overarching lamp for this. Hello.
You know what the funny thing is? Xbox Series X has only just taken over the Wii U in sales. Yeah.
I mean, part of that
As
is
of-
production
Yeah.
problems as
Yeah.
well.
As
But
of last year, it has only just gotten a couple of hundred sales above the Wii U.
Oh dear. Anyway, hate to pull it away because we could talk about this
Yes,
all night.
absolutely.
We've gone off
Um,
tangent majorly.
So we've got one favorite Pokemon thus far. After all that, and that
no,
was
we've got two.
No,
two.
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 Yeah.
Oh, my apologies. We do. Yes.
All right.
Remind
Well,
me,
I'll
Ginger, what
jump
was
in
yours?
next.
Hang on, I forgot what
it
Ginger's
was-
was. Honestly,
Mine was
Gengar.
Cubo.
you went
his
gang.
was
Yes, sorry.
Gengar.
Thank you. All right, Matt.
All right. Well, I've been trolling these guys for like a month that my favorite Pokemon of all time is Magikarp. And look, I'm not gonna lie, he probably comes in just under my number one Pokemon of all time. My number one Pokemon of all time is my fucking spirit animal, Snorlax. I am ordering a shirt that's got Sleepknot on it with a Snorlax and like the fucking Slipknot logo and stuff behind it, but it's got a giant ass Snorlax on there. I am ordering that shirt. Snorlax is, and Joey's gonna love this. I think he gets it from me, but he's one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. He's not good mechanically. He's not fantastic. He's a normal type Pokemon. He's got buckets of problems with him as a mechanical Pokemon, but I fucking love him.
I did
Nope.
just
Nope. In Gen 1, he is in every OU team in the game.
Okay, fair.
Everyone brings
Oh,
a Snorlax to
are
the table.
you?
Overused.
Oh yeah. Yes.
It is the standard for competitive play.
Yep. Snorlax is a stock
Snorlax-
standard in every one of my parties. Every single
Yeah,
one.
no, like he is.
I overuse him.
He and Tauros are two normal types that are always on every team.
That's fair.
Can we get down? Okay.
He's got a big old bucket of hit points. He's got fucking stupid defense, and he's extremely strong base attack. So,
Yep.
for a normal type, he's fucking good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just being able to sweep off anything they do to you is
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah.
I 100% remember that I confused the hell out of Ian at one point because I got the luckiest catch of a Snorlax that you'd ever get. I got one that outsped all of his Pokemon.
Fucking hell.
was
What?
a
There's no
speed-
way.
It was a speed demon Snorlax.
That's
There's no
fucking
way.
awesome.
I was using the likes of Venusaur, Onyx, and whatnot, and he just fed it fucking whatever it sped up its speed.
It actually
X-speed.
got caught on a high
Mm.
speed as well.
Yeah.
There's no. I'm looking at the stats. There's no way.
I was
I don't know how.
using pretty slow Pokemon.
Well, no, like Venusaur caps out like on the low end, it's got a speed of 165. On the high end for Snorlax,
He can tell you that
158. There's no way.
Anyway.
I don't know how to tell you. It was a fast one.
Oh, I think I know what happened. You kept body slamming and paralyzing me.
But
That
I'm
would do it.
Because back
But
then,
on top of
unlike
that, it
now,
did
paralyzing back
outspeed.
then, you always move last. Whereas now, I think it just slows you down a bit and
No, it always halves your speed.
halves it. Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Hmm.
Okay. Cool. Anything?
Snorlax, my spirit animal. I love my boy.
Dear. Anything else, Matt?
No, I'm happy with that as my Pokemon, but Magikarp comes in as a close second. And honestly, it's the meme shit of Magikarp soloing the Elite Four is fucking great. But it's because he
Dear.
evolves into Gyarados, and Gyarados holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
Hmm.
My actual number one is a legendary, but my non-legendary favorite, is close enough. Like it's Dragonite.
So it's the pseudo legendary.
It's a
gotcha.
pseudo. Yeah. Like
It's because Charmander can't become a real dragon.
sorry.
It's because Charmander can't be a real dragon.
Yeah, Mario is closer
Not
to
yet, anyway.
Mario is closer to being a dragon than Charizard is. I mean, he can fly, he can shoot fireballs. I mean, Mario at this point is closer to being a dragon than Charizard is.
Excuse me. Charizard in yellow can fly and most definitely breathe fire.
Could not fly in red or blue.
No, but in yellow it can. They fixed
Anyway,
that.
Anyway, look, Dragonite just it solidified. When I was younger, I was very black and white on my Pokemon. It was pretty much, will this fuck shit up? Charizard would fuck shit up, I will have Charizard. Raichu would fuck shit up, I'll have Raichu. Hypno was my go-to Psychic Pokemon for a while. As
fuck
was,
that, Alakazam.
Yeah, and Dragonite just was that creme de la creme. Like, it was just the be all and end all for me
It's 'cause
back
of
then.
Hyper Beam, right?
No, I hate Hyper Beam. Always
I
have.
fucking love that move.
Always.
It's
I've always hated it.
broken in Gen 1. Are you kidding me?
I've always hated
Fucking
it.
stop,
Gen
man.
1 was the only time that
But no.
I would learn it, but I would only ever use
Yeah.
it on the last Pokemon.
Well, no, like because if you knock them out with Hyper Beam, you don't have a recharge phase in Gen 1.
Yeah, but I didn't know that back then. I didn't take the risk. I never learned that. But yeah. So I mean, then little things kept on solidifying it more and more and more. Like the episode back in Gen 1 of TV series where they had the oversized, skyscraper tall Dragonite that you never see again.
At the
The lighthouse.
lighthouse, yeah.
Yeah. And then just the adorable fucking noise the Dragonite made in the first movie. Roar! Just
Speaking of stuff we saw once and never saw again, what happened to that Crystal Onyx?
I know, right?
Mm.
Uh but yeah, nah, Dragonite, super cute. Body proportions would not allow it to fly. But just
More of a dragon than Charizard is.
more of a dragon than Charizard is, and it's just fucking adorable. And it's a lot smaller than I thought it would have been when I was younger. I thought it would have been, like 15 feet tall. It's only as tall as us. Right? It's not that tall. Anyway. So yeah, Dragonite is my favorite Pokemon.
Hmm.
Period. Bar one.
Dragonite. Yeah, Dragonite is 7 feet 3 inches tall.
Yeah, it's about our height, roughly. But,
You are
adding a foot.
not 7 foot.
You know what I mean. Your average height of Dragonite is 7 foot. I'm the shortest of the four of us. I'm pretty sure, anyway.
How tall are you?
6 foot even.
No, I'm 5'8".
Short ass. Can't see you all the way down there,
Yeah.
man. It's there's a bit of
Go
cloud cover.
fuck
Yeah.
yourself, Matt.
I'll try not to look down on you with this new information.
Oh wow. Oh.
Yeah, I got
It
a
would be
friend
dark
who's
down there. The
shorter
light
than
would hit him last. Oh well. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry,
I've
my
got a
boss is
friend
like
who's-
an inch and a half shorter than me, and I give him shit for it every chance I can.
who's this?
My boss.
Oh.
I've got a friend who's shorter than Ginger here. His nickname in the group has actually become Hobbit.
Love it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
He owns it.
All right, back on topic. So
Back on topic. So
we've covered off non-legendary favorites. Let's go through everybody's favorite legendaries.
Ginger, kick us off.
Articuno.
Tell me more.
Just, I love the design.
Of the three birds, Articuno was probably the weakest.
But it was the most
Mm,
Most
well designed.
susceptible to
Had the worst type matchups.
yeah. Had the worst type matchup.
Actually, Articuno would survive more attacks than Moltres would. So I would say Moltres was the weakest.
Yeah, okay.
You'd kill Moltres before it could do anything.
So Articuno mainly based on its design.
Yeah, I like Ice as a type. I know it's like weak defensively, but I do like. Typically, Ice is weak defensively, but Articuno is up there because like not only did it have good bulk for an Ice type, like its defense is 100 and its special is 125 with a 90 HP stat. That's a bulky motherfucker. But I just like its design. Like absolutely, it was my favorite of the three birds and my favorite legendary overall. Like I didn't like using Mewtwo because he was too strong.
Of the three birds, I have to agree. Articuno is the best design, period, and my favorite bird.
I strongly disagree.
And your favorite Gen 1 legendary, Matt?
My favorite of the birds is definitely Zapdos.
Yeah,
And
the
same
OU
thing.
the OU staple.
Yep. But again, it's not actually for power level. Like it's again, I love that design. And same thing I love out of the evolutions. It's oh shit. The
Describe it.
electric one, the spiky one.
Jolteon?
Jolteon, thank you. Yeah, it's and there's no good reason behind it. Like, I just love the aesthetic. I love that spiky monster looking thing, and I think Zapdos covers that really well as well. Like, and of course, lightning and electricity are fun.
Fair enough. Mitch?
To be honest, I didn't really have one. None of them really took my interest that much.
Hello.
None of them really ended up in my party. They just went straight to the Pokedex and in the box.
Really quick, I do have a a joke. I want to revisit the topic. No, my favorite legendary Pokemon is Arcanine
I was wondering if someone would bring that up.
because he's the legendary Pokemon.
He's the only Pokemon whose type or something or other is legendary. If you look up in the Pokedex, he's the only Pokemon classified as a legendary. And I think in one of the earliest episodes in season 1, you've got the 3 birds, and then fucking bang, Arcanine on this fucking mural. I know, right? Oh dear.
Hmm.
But Mitch, you got no kid. What are you doing?
No,
Sorry.
none of them ever
None of the
really.
legendaries in Gen 1.
Not really. They didn't really get me interested at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was more interested in the evolutions than the legendaries.
Yeah, the evolutions were all the thing back then. They were good.
Yeah.
I usually have an Eevee on my team in every game I play.
Well, yeah, you gotta.
I can't remember which gen of the game it was, but I only did it once. I did a Eevee run. You can pick up an Eevee fairly early on, so I basically just cycled out my entire party till I had 5 Eevees, and then I just went through and evolved them all, like one for each type. It's good fun.
Nice.
The funny thing is, we actually theorized back on the playground the types of Eevee that actually come out now, years before they became.
I'm so looking forward to a ghost type Eevee.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's easy. Yeah, it's got a special stone for it and everything.
Yeah,
Just
I'd
kill
love
it.
to see a rock
Yeah,
type Eevee.
no, the special stone to evolve your Eevee into a ghost. It's a brick.
The Cinderbox, so yes.
Wow. Wow.
Well, we are talking about a game that encourages animal cruelty, so here we go.
Just wow.
You've never thought of that?
I would thought of throwing a Geodude at it, but fucking.
Now I can only think of the picture of Geodude just standing in the middle of the cave and just are the walls made of Geodude or is Geodude made of walls?
Honestly, all I was thinking of was
Screens
having an
does not know.
Eevee stand at the bottom of a cliff with a golem standing up the top, just like a child with a string around their tooth looking at a door. Kind of, don't worry, it'll be fine. Just push the golem off with Eevee just going, oh shit.
No, the Eevee would move. That's why you gotta do the brick.
Just no, Eevee, it's fine.
Trust me, Eevee.
Was that
believe in
Eevee
the
holding an
power of
Everstone?
friendship. Believe in the power of friendship.
Can you imagine if that was the case? You had to kill the Eevee, and that Eevee was holding an Everstone. Oh,
Well,
no!
Officer Jenny wants to have a word with you.
I also wouldn't mind seeing a data Eevee. One that's gotten corrupted in the Pokeball during a transfer or something like that.
Like a polygon Eevee.
Yeah.
Oh God, no.
Computer
Ugh.
Eevee.
Fuck yeah.
Can we
I
also
love
talk about how
evolutions.
Can we also talk about how Porygon is in one of the episodes that actually got banned like across the world?
There's been a couple of those, a couple for different reasons. Like there's the Pikachu
Well, no,
electric
this one. Yeah, this one. No, it was Porygon. Pikachu was involved. He did a thunder attack, and it caused a light to hit in such a way that it caused a bunch of seizures.
Yeah, so I would think of the same episode. I just remembered the Pikachu.
Mhm,
Yep.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
Uh,
again, there's also an episode that's been banned because James had tits.
I've seen that episode.
We did
So
not
did I.
see it here in Australia. Not
Yeah,
not
it came out
not
West.
Also,
once. But
also episodes that have been banned because somebody had a gun.
doesn't someone point a gun at Ash early in season 1?
Yep.
Yeah.
Huh. I don't think that one got banned for us.
It might have
It
done.
got no. It just got censored. Like the
Yeah.
gun got turned into something else.
Yeah. It'd just make it so funny if it was completely fine on our end and America banned it. We can't show guns like this.
Oh, we got heavily
Can't show
censored
guns
stuff in Australia. Like Dragon Ball Z had no swearing, it had no blood. On its first air in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One Piece
Dear.
replaced the cigarettes with lollipops.
Yeah.
This does not surprise me.
Anyway.
Filtering is dumb. Moving on.
Yeah. So my favorite legendary is my favorite Pokemon.
Mewtwo.
Mewtwo.
Come on, that's such a cop out.
No, I fell in love with Mewtwo around the time of the first movie. I didn't really like him up until that point. His sprite looked weird, looked like a cat, and I'm not a big cat person. I don't use cat Pokemon. I just not a huge fan. So his first sprite just looked like this weird cat, and I didn't like it. Then I saw the first movie, and just it hit me on a personal level, being a child, and I just love Mewtwo ever since. Mewtwo is just now my favorite. Period. And then the special with Mewtwo Returns came out as well, and it just solidified it even more.
But no, I will say that at least Mewtwo had the good sense to know that he had to block Ash's punch with a psychic barrier, because Ash was bringing the guns, man.
I'm not going down that path. Although I love the meme of like original then Alolan stuff, and then just Ash being at the bottom. You know, Ash could once pick up a tree, and now he can't. I do like
No,
that meme.
he's literally picked up what's the thing that it was in the Alolan Gen. It's what your legendary was originally with a Cosmo or whatever. He can pick up the evolved form of it, and that thing weighs.
Again, let's not try and pick apart the logic of Pokemon because it's a.
I feel like picking apart the logic of Pokemon is worse than picking apart the logic of DC or Marvel. Especially when you consider that the English translators didn't give two rats about Pokemon when they called Growliths Arcanines so many times, and Pidgeots Pidgeotos, and vice versa. Even today, you get back and watch the original Pokemon movie. Those winds were nothing. I just flew over on Pidgeotto here. It's clearly a Pidgeot!
Yeah, and when the Pidgeot evolves, you literally hear it go, Pidgeotto!
That's because at the time, who was going to watch a stupid anime? This is before, and this again, Pokemon is part of the thing that's brought anime to mainstream Western world. Like
that
Dragon
Ball Z.
Ball, and Pokemon are the two original ones that really made it common in Western world.
I would argue Pokemon more so than Dragon Ball, but Dragon Ball Z really, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But Dragon Ball Z was before or after Pokemon?
They came around
well
the same
before.
time, I think.
Well before Dragon Ball Z.
Well before.
Oh, Dragon Ball, yeah.
Dragon
Sorry,
Ball,
Dragon
yeah.
Ball.
Dragon Ball was all the way back in the 80s.
But
Dragon Ball Z
Z.
was actually made in the early, Dragon Ball Z was made in the early 90s.
Yeah, around the same time as Pokemon.
Yeah.
No, Pokemon didn't come out until the late
DBZ.
90s.
Yeah, DBZ came around the
The
same
thing with
time.
Z, and I mean, we still see memes about it, and I know you've explained the reasoning behind it, Kami, but at the end of the day, Z, it was too slow for kids. Whereas Pokemon, it was huge, man, when it came out.
I actually got more frustrated with Pokemon than I did with Dragon Ball Z, because Dragon Ball Z, at least I could pick up where it left off. and it was for me. I kept getting lured back because of the story. Whereas Pokemon, for me, being the impatient ADHD child I was, it was just, when's the next gym? When's the next gym? When's the next gym? And you'd have 20 episodes of filler, which watching back today is good filler.
Mm.
But as a child, it's just, when's the next gym? That's all I cared about.
Yeah.
Which is why the Orange Island part of season 2, I hated it because there were only 4 gyms. That's it, 4 gyms, and we never learned what was in the GS ball. We've now know what it was meant to be, but we never knew it. Never learned officially in the series, and it just frustrated me.
Why
Because
does this
when's the
not
next
surprise
gym?
me?
Sorry,
Why does this not surprise me with you?
I just couldn't stay, and I kept on watching Pokemon because I wanted to see what was next. And then it always killed me. They get to the gym. There's the gym. We'll go in there in 2 more episodes. That annoyed me more than a season-long fight with Frieza. But hey, that's me.
That's you. That is
Yep.
just you.
I know. Well aware.
Uh,
Why do you think I started the hear me out stuff?
Oh.
So, what was supposed to be in the GS ball?
Celebi.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they've
Mhm.
confirmed that well after the fact, but Celebi was meant to be in there.
Yeah, I believe that they confirmed it in Pokemon Crystal or something like that.
No, I think the creators just confirmed it in an interview. I don't think it was ever actually canon put it in. I could be wrong. I don't recall it ever canonically being put in anything. But anyway. Ah, dear. So, yeah, look. Mewtwo. End of story. Bang. Yeah, bitches.
Snorlax is better.
Oh, I was so happy when they did Mewtwo justice in the live action movie.
Mm.
It was good.
I actually loved Mewtwo in the live action.
I never saw it.
Detective Pikachu.
I say he, but I know they've since retconned him
As
to be
they
genderless.
Yeah.
And I get that because Mew is also genderless.
Oh, you know what Dittos are, right?
failed news.
They've
Yep.
tried to come out and say that it's not true, but the fans aren't having it.
No, it's all over the games, man. Like
I know, but the
over that
creators have
mansion.
come out and said officially that's not true, but the fans are just going, well, fuck you. Too bad. You've done this. This is how we've taken it. How can you not say it's true? Especially with what they did in the live action movie. Because get this, Dittos can only transform into what they can see in front of them at the time. That is the rule of Ditto. That is the rule of Ditto. And the eyes are always the right?
Actually, that was only one Ditto that
Yeah,
had
that was
that
one
thing.
Ditto.
There was one in the anime that had that.
And also, he can change into any Pokemon he likes at any
No.
time.
You're right. The general rule of Dittos was must see what's in front of it. The Ditto in the anime and in the movie could transform at will. That's rare. Not been seen,
That's
but
not the
rare
norm.
in Dittos. What's the only other Pokemon that can properly, not just an illusion-based thing, but properly transform into a Pokemon at will? There is only
Mew.
one, and that is Mew.
Mew.
Right? Zoroark and Zoroark can transform, but it's more of an illusion, right? Dittos can transform when they see something or in recent memory, not just right. Mew can transform at will. So can very powerful Dittos.
Yeah. Dittos, I believe, in the anime and comic, they could learn to transform into other things at will. They removed that in the game because it would be far too fucking powerful.
Oh, absolutely. It should not be that way in the game.
Yeah. They had to make it so that a
Well,
person
yeah,
wouldn't just
Dittos
have a
can
team
learn
of
that, but it's
Dittos.
very rare. They've got to be quite a powerful Ditto to do it. They're also being screamed left, right, and center when people saw this Ditto changing into Flareon and whatever it will. Anyway, Yeah, definitely. The fan base, 100% to this day, myself included, believes strongly that Dittos are found Mew experiments or clones.
They are,
Yeah.
but I'm sorry, it was stated in the freaking like mansion. Like they were talking about how they kept on cloning Mew, and what do you run into at the bottom of the mansion?
Tons of Ditto. First place you see them. Yeah.
Yeah, and stating that they can copy genetic code.
Yeah, but as I've said, right, the game creators or whatever, or the anime or whatever, someone official has come out and said multiple times, no, it's not true, but we aren't taking it.
Not having it.
Nah, not happening.
We appreciate what you're saying, and I'm going to respectfully disagree. We made the fucking game. No. What you think I said?
It's at the point of where they're going, no, you don't get it. It's pronounced GIF. No, fuck you, it's GIF. It's
The
I feel like it's gotten
G
to that point.
stands for graphical,
So, but
not
you don't.
graphical.
It's GIF. It's GIF.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, it's pronounced GIF.
Yeah, no. Every time I hear that that argument, I just say every day we stray further and further from Jod.
Oh dear. Anyway, yeah. I feel like it's gotten to that point where the creators have gone this, but no, it's clearly that. And it's one of the best theories of Pokemon I have.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly. Yeah. Because in Gen 1, they put that kind of level of thought into Gen 1 stuff. That was pretty cool, I thought. Speaking of favorite parts, did any of you have like a favorite section of the game?
Gen 1 games.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've played them. I remember hating the fucking when you're breaking into the Rocket HQ. Because as a kid, like this was before you could just like, I'm stuck on this puzzle. Let me just fucking Google that. Like, let me just put, hey Siri, how do I get through the fucking tower in this? So, like there was game
Yep.
guides you could buy,
Is
but they were
the
like
one with the
$60.
teleporters?
And, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I remember getting
I
really
admit I
angry at that
tend to
section of the
use
game.
I felt like we've unopened his repressed memories here.
yeah.
Yep.
I'd just use a repel on that and then just go, sweet, so this, no. This, no.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that was a bitch of a building.
Yeah, no, as I said, back when I was playing these games as a kid, like you couldn't just Google the answer. Like it was a different world, it was a different level. Like I remember watching a clip of getting Gen Z kids to play old school video games, and they got them playing like Mega Man 3, I think it was, Mega Man 2, maybe like one of the old Mega Man games. And the guy got to like the end of like the stage bit and climbed up a ladder. He's like, "Oh, so beat the level." He's like, "What makes you think that?" Like, so he's gone up the ladder and then he died like 2 seconds later. He's gone all the way back. He's like, "Oh, but it's a checkpoint, right?" No. All the way back to the start of the level. And these kids were just like fucking raging hard. And
Oh
this is
no,
what we had as
no.
kids.
You want to make it worse? Hand them
Battletoads.
the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game.
Yep.
Yeah. There was a game.
Battletoads.
Battletoads.
Yeah.
Battletoads was only bad if you were playing with a friend and friendly fire was enabled. That was torture.
Nope. Battletoads, I had it on the original fucking Game Boy, and I never got past the second level.
Hmm.
The
I
bit
never
with
got past the speed bikes.
Yeah, that's the second level. Yeah,
Yeah.
never made it
Really?
past.
That's yeah, okay.
There
Wow.
was a game called. There was something about Merlin or something like that, where you're essentially riding on a railroad track for the entire fucking thing, and you have to. It's one big puzzle game, not a single save space in it, for about a 10-hour game.
Mm. That was the thing.
Yeah.
Even Gen 1 Pokemon games, there wasn't such a thing as autosave. Like, so you'd be playing through and playing through and playing through, and then those 4 AA batteries just
But to say, yeah,
not gonna hold up.
you don't notice the red light flashing and then just boom.
Yep.
My progress, no!
Oh dear.
Yeah, good memories. Kids these days, they don't know what they missed out on.
Do you have a favorite point in the game, Matt?
Favorite point in the game.
Said your least favorite, but do you have a favorite? I have a think. Least favorite point in the game. Matt said the Rocket HQ.
Yeah, let's go negative. So Legion, the Rocket HQ was pretty bad.
Did you? Do you have a least favorite part of the game?
Probably Rock Tunnel, because you had to have flash.
Yeah, back in the day of HM slaves.
Mitch?
Let's see. Honestly, I didn't get lost that bad, but I would also say Rock Mountain simply because of the length of it, where every step could be a Pokemon.
Yeah, I also, on the back of that, hate Rock Tunnel.
Yeah,
I
I
hated it.
think Mount Moon was worse than Rock Tunnel.
No.
You had to have
'Cause
Flash, and it was about 3 to 4 times as long.
Yeah, but when you go into Mount Moon, like especially early on, it's your first like cave that you do, and like you said, you have that every step. Dealing with Zubats is a pain in the
Yeah,
fucking
but
ass.
on your second and third playthrough, you know, maybe you're gonna, oh fuck,
yeah.
here comes Mount Moon. On your first playthrough, it's kind of, oh, it's a new biome, it's something different, it's exciting. By the time you come to Rock Tunnel, it's just you know?
that
Yeah.
and the amount of Voltorbs where it's just, oh, another one of these. What's it going to do?
And,
Oh,
but instead of
self-destruct.
Zubats and
Confused.
Geodudes, it's now Golbats and Gravelers,
Yeah, you
and yet
also got
still Zubats.
yeah. And the random Clefairies.
In Mount Moon. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Rock Tunnel. Okay. Cool. You've had time to think. I would hope. Favorite?
The Lavender Town Tower.
Yeah.
Oh,
That is
fuck
also my favorite
It's
spot
the,
because
it's
that's
the
where
first
I
time
get
that's
my
where you
gas
find
lead.
ghosts.
To date, it
That's
is
where I get
the
my gas
the
lead.
bit of any Pokemon game that freaks me out the most. By far.
Yeah,
Fuck
the
the
thing.
Ghost Girl in later games. The Lavender Town.
The thing with Lavender Town, right, is it was so like the Rock Cave, the Rock Tunnel, and the fucking Team Rocket Tower. You were so frustrated by the time you got to the end of it, right? That it ruined the joy. It was like, thank fuck this is over. Not oh yeah, I fucking did it. It's like thank fuck this is over.
Yep.
Lavender Tower was still fucking difficult, and then you got to the boss, like the climax of that fight, the climax of that section, and it was you see the Marowak, you see Marowak Cubone, whichever one
Marowak.
it is.
Marowak.
Yeah,
Marowak.
it is Marowak. Yeah, you fight the Marowak. You fucking you Pokemon are all like tapped out pretty hard at that point as well. Because again, I was a young kid, I didn't understand the strategy of like take fucking
Level up.
resources with you, like take potions, take revives, take some fucking ether with you, like. I didn't understand that as a young kid. So you'd go in and you'd like fucking claw your way through the tower. You'd finally get to the end fight, finish the boss, and then you had that satisfaction of actually completing it, and then probably dying
Yeah.
on the way out.
And that
the-
also sparked the theory that you murdered or that you killed Gary's
Gyarados
Raticate. Sparked that theory
And
too.
I still subscribe to that theory. I still think that's fantastic. That's
Yeah.
just good storytelling.
Yeah, that's the thing. Lavender Town was a perfect thing of show don't tell.
Yeah.
I miss that in modern games. Like games don't delve that. Games like on this level don't delve that dark and deep anymore. Like
Yeah.
in
Everything's got to be PC.
in a game that Ginger and I have been playing recently, like I was surprised by how dark it went. I was actually really happy with that. But I mean,
I know
in
exactly
current
what you're talking about.
in current Pokemon games, it just apart from the odd Pokedex entry, it doesn't feel dark anymore. There's no more villains. There's just angry teens, and then it's just
Yeah, they have the redemption arc for everything.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
not to say like bring that game up, but you and I vastly differ on our opinion on that part.
We might have a separate video on that at some point, but that'll take a full 2 hours. Sorry, Ginger and I vastly disagree on a specific character. I believe he's an absolute tool and needs to be punished. And Ginger's
And
just,
I
yes,
love him.
he's the best. Anyway,
I love him.
Anyway, moving on. Yeah, I just don't.
have no idea
I
what they're
miss.
talking about, though.
Huh?
I have no idea what you two are talking about. So
In short, I
I
miss.
don't know what game you're talking about it.
I
That's
miss
about it.
the days where there were games like this, where it was dark, where it was perceived that you've just murdered Eradicate, where you have gone into a town and the whole premise of that town, the theme of that town is fucking. This is a tower with dark, dank music, creepy music that you're gonna have nightmares about because you're a child, and there's nothing in there but dead Pokemon. Not just ghost Pokemon; these are dead Pokemon.
yeah, this is literally a graveyard.
Yeah, and I miss that. I miss that.
And yeah,
Well, that's the
not
thing.
just,
As a kid, you don't pick up on how dark it is, but then as you sort of play through it again as an adult and you read all the bits, like, oh Jesus, why was I allowed to play this as a kid?
You want to
Ignorance.
really dive into that, like some of the creepier like stories. Look up Lavender Town Syndrome.
oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yep.
But yeah,
If you like creepypastas, this is right up your alley.
but yeah, why the hell was
Hellbowser.
Nintendo able to do the creepy that fucking well?
Yeah.
A couple of Zelda
Like-
games have the creepy really good too.
Majora's Mask.
Because they're Japanese, and the Japanese people are really good at horror.
Yep.
Yeah,
Not
but
wrong.
they're good at
What are you doing,
subtle
Bowser?
horror.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I actually love that sort of horror. So,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the,
The
sla- the
unnerving
slasher,
creepiness.
yeah, slasher flicks just don't do it to me. Like, it's like, oh look, there's a murderer. Oh look, they've just thrown. They've had their last. They've had their overorder of blood there. So I guess they're just gonna throw it on the screen. Oh yay, that was really scary. Like,
It's
just
the
doesn't
it's
do
I
anything
love
for me, like-
I love the older slasher movies. Like I love those.
well, it's
Oh, the older
suspense
ones, you
building
get some fun out
versus
of
jump
it.
scares.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
the thing. Jump
One of
scares
them's
just
really scary. One of them's just it triggers your fight reaction.
Yeah, it's a cheap. It's like jump scares are cheap. They're not fulfilling. They're stupid.
The only thing that I'll stick up for the jump scare things is it's the only time I've seen Matt jump. And only once at that. And it wasn't even much of a jump. He moved about that much. But it counts because it's on camera.
What was that? I can't remember what that bit
I don't remember which part it was, but it was in Outlast.
Yeah. Bowser, stop trying to eat my hand. Sup, dude?
It's so tasty.
Otherwise, I find the
Interesting, the tongue
suspense of stuff
Bowser.
much worse. Like look at 5 Nights at Freddy's, for example. The suspense, waiting, is the worst part of the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
you eventually become just null and numb. I
Yeah.
guess is what I'm trying to think of to those jump scares. Whereas
Yeah.
the waiting, the anticipation,
It's honestly almost a relief when the jump scares hit you.
yeah.
The naff after a while.
Yeah, so as before we go too far down that rabbit hole, right? Just to bring it back a little bit to what you're all saying, Lavender Town was that perfect level of sustained, constant, anxiety-inducing suspense.
Well, it went from happy music to suddenly everything in a minor key the instant you stepped into the town.
Creepy as
But it's-
balls. Yeah.
It's the only spot that it does that in the entire game.
Yeah,
It's just, oh yeah, happy, colorful, suddenly,
full
Well,
atmospheric, just
yeah.
hell, yeah,
And doing that on your 8-bit audio is pretty fucking impressive, man.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, and I played it on Game Boy Color, where the red and blue. It essentially the only color it had was the overlay changed slightly in different areas.
yeah.
Whereas
and-
yellow finally had some actual proper color changes.
Yeah, and just the moment you step into the town and everything just has a sepia purple wash,
Yeah.
just go over it, and it's just something's different here.
Yeah.
Then the music kicks in, and it's just, oh damn.
Again, it's
Yeah.
one of those things that it's even now, like Lavender Town still holds up, and it really proves the point that you don't need like fucking extreme amounts of gore or extreme, like you don't need that high visual shit
Yeah, you
to
don't need
get
the
that horror
monster
feeling
running at you
across.
down the
Yeah,
hall.
absolutely. Like there's really cool things that they do with the storytelling, and it's really like the music change, like you said, like they don't have like high def audio in it. They're fucking 8-bit audio or 16-bit audio, whatever it was. It's so minimalistic and it's so
Yeah.
effective, and it's something that a lot of games don't capture today. Like, um,
And not just that, as you go up the thing and you start reading the tombstones and stuff like that, by the time you get up to the second or third floor, you can tell that this is a place that should be a place of respect and all that kind of stuff. And it makes you feel awkward with the fact that you're going up there.
yeah,
This is why
well,
the
it's
people
one
are
of those.
waiting there to battle you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is a place that you should be respecting. Battle me! How dare you tread here? Battle me!
let's make animals
Yeah,
fight.
He's still mad at you for killing his Eradicate.
Yep. How dare you
Yeah.
tread in this exact spot where you must be respectful? My Pokemon has just died. Fight me!
It's one of those things, and it's I know none of you guys like this game, but Fallout 76, like everyone
I like
complained that
it.
it was such an empty world. Um, everyone complained that it was such an empty world, but as you go through the world building that they've done in there without having talking NPCs, just having like pieces of paper that you go and read. Like I'm playing through it again at the moment with Tegan, and there's there's some cool bits of stuff in there that you sort of, as you sort of start putting the pieces together, like it's easy to just walk past and skip it, but it's that subtle world building. It's not the, oh look, there's a trail of blood, and oh look, there's like there's torn off limbs over there, because that's like it's that super subtle versus super
Yeah.
obvious horror, like
I like the
basically
subtle
like
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
like as you start reading the snippets, you read these things, like there's a little girl, it's like, oh, I've left you another note, Dad, just in case they told me that you'd be turning up, they told me that to get it to you, and there's just all these notes, and you're just reading it going like, oh my god, this is fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Like,
Or the one
it's
where the lady gets caught in the special spot behind the
Ethel spot.
one of the banks or something like that,
yeah.
where she's trapped in the vault that's only meant to hold you for a few weeks, and she's slowly dying in there because has no
No
resources.
food, no water. Yep.
And
Again,
just
it's that,
please somebody.
it's it's the whole thing. Like Tegan loves reading horror stories and thriller stories and stuff. Hates watching
Yeah.
them as movies, but the thing is, her brain can filter out the stuff that she needs to, but her brain can also take the stuff that is like, she can filter out the gore mentally, but she
Mm.
can take the stuff that is actually scary and ramp it up to 11. Like, and that's the thing. Like, it's it's an old game. It was a game made for kids. Like Pokemon, the original Pokemon Red and Blue and Yellow were never designed for adults like us to be playing them. Like they were designed at the key demographic is fucking like 8 to 12-year-olds, right? And that is 100% the key
Yeah.
demographic
The
for them.
marketing, just smashed kids. Hey, kids written all over it.
Yeah,
Gotta
absolutely.
catch them all.
Yeah. But then the thing is, we're all in our 30s here, sitting around talking about a game that's nearly nearly as old as us, when we're being honest, and with such fond memories, and this is actually making me want to go and play Pokemon Blue again. Like
The average age of a gamer today is 31.
Yeah.
absolutely, and that's the thing is, it's now socially acceptable for adults to play video games.
Yep.
For the most part, there's still people that sort of look down on it, and all that sort of shit and whatever. I don't give a fuck, but it is now become more the social norm for adults to play video games,
Yep.
whereas it used to be just a thing that kids got. Like, and again, it's that shows when you look at the PlayStation, like PS5 and Series X, and what are you fucking doing, dog? What do you think you're gonna find?
I think gaming has now gotten to that point where it's more socially acceptable to be a gamer than it is to watch anime.
Yep, absolutely.
Like cartoons in general,
But-
in fact, are still seen as
but even
it's for
that-
kids.
Huh.
Anyone
Not
who
really
purely
anymore.
thinks cartoons
know
are for
the most
kids, I'm not going to say
common
like the
thing-
best example, but I mean clearly they haven't watched the likes of say Rick and Morty, or even
Yeah.
South Park,
Well,
or
an,
they're
an
quite
incredibly
tame too.
common thing that I see around my work is tattoos of anime.
Yep.
There's a guy who has a full DBZ sleeve.
It's
Nice
becoming
sight.
more common, but it is still not the mainstream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
The thing is,
go-
like, nerd culture has become to the forefront, and there's been a lot of things involved in that, and honestly, MCU is one of them, where it's now okay to be nerdy. Like, it's now okay to like Spider-Man, to like Iron Man, to like, different nerdy shit.
Yeah.
Um, even look at the rise of D&D over the last sort of 5 years. Like, it's gone from being, a cult of demon worshippers to now being relatively mainstream. There's always going to be those aspects of
Well,
it.
look back at the days of
Um,
The Simpsons. Like D&D were I have no idea what their names are, but the buck teeth glasses. The nerdy kids from The Simpsons would be your
yeah,
D&D players way
yeah.
back when. That's what they were portrayed as or stereotyped as. Not
Mhm.
anymore.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, there's been a lot of good things that has happened in the world to sort of bring that to the forefront. There's always going to be people that oh, no, it's, I have no interest in any nerdy stuff because, I'm the hard jock or whatever the fuck. There's always going to be that
Good
mentality in
for
the world.
you.
Like, yeah. And that's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, good for you. Um, nerd culture has come more and more mainstream. And I mean, you look at Pokemon games, like, most people have played Pokemon games. Like, when, the two new ones, fucking Violet and I can't remember what the other one is.
Scarlet.
Scarlet.
Yeah, Violet and Scarlet came out. Like, there was like 4 of us at work playing it. Granted, I work in IT, but they're not the same. Most of them aren't the same sort of nerds as me. Like, they don't play tabletop games, they don't play board games and shit. But a new Pokemon came out, and they were all on board. So
Pokemon brings
Yeah.
most people together.
yeah,
But yeah.
No, this is not like to do with like any of the. This isn't Gen 1, but
Okay, well
the
then moving on.
closest. No, the closest we ever came to world peace was the month that Pokemon Go came out.
yeah,
That I would argue that's also because Darwinism was in full effect.
Yeah.
What I
There was
mean by
also
that
the
is
fact
the
of,
idiots were being hit by cars.
yeah,
mm,
there was also the fact of murders had to go down. Too many people were walking the areas
yeah. There was too
random.
many witnesses, man. Like,
Yeah.
no crimes of opportunity anymore.
We
And
joke
people
about
were
these
going
things,
out in
and
fucking
that's all
packs.
that we're joking about. Please don't take these things seriously.
People were going out in packs, man. There wasn't the one person walking the streets on their home on way home. It was like, oh man, you're walking home. Let's pull out Pokemon Go. Fuck, let's go.
No, and it was complete strangers. They were like, "Oh, you're playing Pokemon Go too? Come on, let's go."
Yeah. Hey, look, man. I think there's something cool down this dark alley. You keen? Fuck yeah, let's go. Let's go find a Charizard.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I think
there's
that
people have sighted on the other side of town. Quick, hop into my van. I have candy in the van. Okay, I'm in.
But one of the things that they actually fucked up with Pokemon Go is when they shut down the websites that had the
The
actual
finders, yeah.
Pokemon maps.
Yeah.
Because you'd have literal people you'd suddenly have someone shout off to the side, "Oh, fucking Aerodactyl just showed up over there," and you'd
Yeah.
have the entire mass.
But that's why they shut those sites down, because the problem is you'd have, like, it's like, oh look, a fucking park at 1 a.m. Suddenly 200 people are there. Like,
Yeah.
it actually became problematic for police and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the
What
park
are you
near
doing?
me.
Must find Pokemon.
Yeah, the park near me does not allow people to be there at night because of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it also whilst it brought so many people together, it also brought out the dumb. Like people were
Oh,
actively
absolutely.
trespassing. There were so many car crashes. So just
That's Darwinism in full effect, though.
as I said, yeah, Darwinism in full effect. Yeah, cool. Mitch, your favorite section.
As I said, I've got to agree with them. Lavender Town.
Cool. Ginger, your favorite section.
I already said it, Lavender Town.
Right.
Kami.
Fantastic.
Gummy, favorite section.
Please tell me we all agree. Please.
No,
Kami's
that
different.
no,
We're all
it-
gonna jump on top of him for it.
lavender triggers me. My my biggest fear,
And
which I
it's
don't want to go
true.
into right now because it's past the safe point for me in terms of time of day. My biggest fear is death. Period. Like it freaks the fuck out of me just not existing. And
The moment you said that, your camera just glitched the fuck out for a moment.
I didn't want to say that. I know. I half saw it.
Suddenly the screen just fucks up and it
The
looks
little
like you're
bugger, the little
dunking the
bugger
chair.
that keeps appearing all the time. My son, he has done so much in terms of keeping that under control. But anyway, no. So Lavender Town triggers me something savage. My favorite part. I did actually have something in mind before
Before
we
the
started.
talks
We're
on
going down all
Lavender.
those separate routes. Hang on. So hang on. We go. Yeah, and then
He's retracing his steps.
I'm going through the map. I think my
Yep.
favorite part, at least that I can recall right now, because I'm not going to change it because it wasn't what I was thinking of. I always looked forward to the Elite Four.
I mean, it's end game content.
It's
Like,
end
you've
game content.
grinded your ass off to get there. We've done all the hard work.
Yeah,
Getting
for-
to Elite Four is the final fucking hurdle.
for me, in my mindset, even back then, it was the validation of it all. I've
Yeah.
spent so much time grinding. I've spent so much time doing just training this and not furthering the story. I could have been playing Sonic. I could have been hanging out with friends, but I was grinding. Here is my validation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was
The
it was
other-
the candy in the van, right?
Yeah.
Or the light in the
And-
tunnel. It
and
was
that still happens to me with modern games. Like, so Cyberpunk, like the first playthrough, I did a few of the side missions. Then I'm like, okay, now I just want to finish the game. I want to get to the end of the storyline, and the storyline was engaging. Like, it sort of brought me forward. But I sort of found myself pushing towards it. I've gone back and started playing again. I'm maybe halfway through the main story, but I've got 30 odd hours of playtime in that playthrough. Like,
Yep.
it's getting that end screen, seeing that end screen, it's validating, man. It is
Yeah.
genuinely validating. It's
Yeah.
a hit of endorphins. It's
Well, yeah, Pokemon. I get. I don't finish many Pokemon games anymore, but
Yeah.
and even today, even with recent games like Ragnarok, Hogwarts, and many others, when I got to the end screen on all of those and more, it was kind of that's it.
Oh, it's done.
There's no more.
Yeah,
I'm
a lot of
disappointed
games
because there's no more, which is a good thing, but also a bad thing. Whereas Pokemon, you get to the end, you get the uplifting music, you see your Hall of Fame Pokemon, and it's just that rush of endorphins. It's just that overwhelming sense of accomplishment, and you feel good, right?
Well, the thing is, old school games are not easy, man. It comes back to that same thing as well. Like, it's even and the problem is today, like, even when there's a puzzle in a game, right? Like, so playing Fallen Order, there's a couple of times, there's one point, sorry, that I've been stuck on. Like, how the fuck do I do this puzzle? I just couldn't figure out the logic on it. What did I do? Jump on my other screen, Googled it, and there was my answer. So you don't get the rush for solving it. Like, it's and it is the problem with modern games, like, and the modern world that we live in. It's really hard to play a game in isolation.
Sorry, Ginger, I think you were very patiently waiting there for a moment.
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna ask. Is your favorite area Indigo Plateau or Victory Road?
The plateau.
Okay, because I was gonna say
Yeah.
the thing that ruins the end of the game for me is, like, you went through all of that hard work.
And there's
You
one
got
more
all the
fucking
badges.
tunnel.
Here's the freaking puzzle
And
for you
it's
to go through.
fucking brutal
Damn
as
it.
well.
However, Moltres is in Victory Road.
Yeah. The funny thing
Yeah,
is,
that's my least favorite bird. So
Touche.
funny thing is, I went through all those puzzles really easily because I played fucking Legend of Zelda religiously.
Yeah.
It had very similar puzzles, so it's just, oh yeah, so tick, 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 got it.
Pokemon
no,
would be
like-
very basic for you compared.
Yeah.
I'm also a complete hypocrite when it comes to Moltres, because I hate Moltres because it's a fire flying type and it's at 4 times weakness to rocks. What's my favorite Gen 2 legendary? Ho-Oh.
Sometimes you just gotta listen to the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, look, it's and the thing is, doing the Elite Four again, especially as a young kid, that's like, again, it's super gameable as an adult. Like, if you sort of think about it and plan your strats out properly, like, super gameable. But as a kid, like, when you're 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, you don't have that, like, full forethought. You're like, oh, but I want to play, I want to play Moltres because Moltres is a cool Firebird. Like, that's your mindset. Like, it's, he's got massive problems, but you're like, I want to play with Moltres. I want to play with the cool toys.
I hate the way he looks.
As that
Yeah,
first
Mole,
year.
Mole Trace to begin with was just too bland on colors. It was just a basic red, basic yellow kind of thing. They made Mole Trace's design better
Black and white, baby.
later, but
Yeah.
I'm even talking anime. It was just so basic, but yeah. The closest I've come Pokemon wise to that level of validation and sensation was the first and only time I have successfully completed a Nuzlocke, and that was funnily enough on stream. I was so happy beating the Elite Four in that game. And again, it wasn't the oh fuck it's over. It was again I hadn't felt that in a while. It was especially on a
You've
Pokemon
hit the
game that
achievement, yeah.
the achievement was something else. Um, I got to the end. Spoiler for those who haven't seen it. Not that everyone would go back and watch it now, but still got to the end. And I think 2 of my 6 or 2 of my 5 remaining fainted against the final Pokemon, and I'm just shitting bricks. It's yeah.
Hmm.
I was not ready for a dragon. I'm not. Well, I was
Mm.
as ready as I was gonna be, but a dragon in a Nuzlocke. It's just Cynthia.
Well, it's one of the things, like, playing through Sword and Shield, I'm up to Victory Road in it now, and then I sort of got bored of playing it.
Mm.
But I think, like, I'm not doing a Nuzlocke for it, I'm just playing through it normally, but I think I've whited it out once in the entire game so far.
Sword and
Like,
Shield
it's
or
just
Scarlet?
Sword and Shield.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Um,
played through the entirety of Scarlet, and sorry, I had Violet, and I did not white out once.
I whited out twice. I don't normally white out. I white out twice.
yeah, I
Have
whited
they
out a couple of times in Violet so far, but it's usually just because doing dumb shit. I'm like, oh, I'll just go do this gym. Oh, okay, I'm way under leveled for it. All right, well, I'll go do something else and grind for a bit, come back. There we go, smash the fucking gym.
Yeah.
I just get
have they
impatient with the grinding side of it.
sorry, have they like fixed any of the technical issues with Scarlet and Violet? Because that's what I've been waiting on. Because I know
I
they need to patch a
encountered
lot.
one in my entire playthrough. One. I clipped once. I think Mitch
Mhm.
happened to be watching when it happened, but I clipped and fell through something once and once only. And I managed to get back out. I was down the in the final area, and I fell through a wall. I managed to clip back out. That was the only time I
That's
had an
right,
issue.
with the crystal things.
Yeah.
But the
You
very
fell into a
this
crystal.
this is the very nature of the world we live in now. So again, like we were laughing about, like link cable transfers not working on the original Pokemon game, and I'm sure that a lot of people experience that same thing and that same frustration. But the problem is when it happened, the person you could bitch to about it was Rem, or like 1 or 2 other friends. Like, it was a
And
small
I was always just,
circle.
oh, it
You weren't jumping in
sucks.
with, you weren't having a million people who'd played the game, and out of them, 500,000 of them had lost, their fucking legendary Pokemon on a link trade, and this is the worst fucking game ever, and I can't believe I want my fucking money back on this game, because you didn't have the fuel, like, people just feeding fuel to the fire.
Well, that's
You know,
that's yeah,
I
part of
same thing as you. I haven't had any glitches playing in Violet so far. I think Joey had one that he pissed himself laughing at. Like, and this is the thing. Like, the problem is every game has glitches. Every piece of software that ever gets released has glitches, right?
Mm.
The people are actively going out. The thing is, people are learning about these glitches and then actively going out and exploiting to generate these bugs to show
Mm.
off how bad a game is. But what they're doing is they're taking 500,000 or 1 million people's experience with it, and out of that, there might be 50 people that are having these issues, or 100 people that are actually having these issues. But suddenly, he generates all 100 of those glitches on one video, and the whole world is like, "Oh, this game's just full of glitches. That's all the game is." Like,
Yeah,
people
like,
take it as gospel.
yeah,
like to put it in
absolutely.
perspective, I played the Fallout games, did not find a single glitch in any of my playthroughs.
I call
Yep.
bullshit.
Legitimately.
Those games were riddled from top to bottom.
No,
They were
I'm
great
about to say
games.
that's like trying to get. No, it was a Bethesda game. You
Huh.
had some glitches.
Probably just none
No.
that you actively noticed. Like, okay, I was introduced to Fallout close to Fallout 4. I played through Fallout 3 because Fallout 4 was coming, and girlfriend at the time was huge in Fallout. I played through Fallout 4, and it was glitch after glitch after glitch, but it was still a great game.
Yeah. I did not find a single glitch until
Yeah.
I actually actively tried breaking the game
Yep.
with cheats.
Like for me to properly get annoyed at the game, it needs to be a game-breaking glitch.
Yeah.
Like when I
Right.
fell through the crystals at the end of Scarlet, I was laughing, going, "Ha!
Yeah.
Hey, the thing! It happened! It happened to me! I did the thing! Can I not? I
I-
can't get out! I can't get out! Oh, I gotta get back to a safe. Well, that's unfortunate."
I've had a grand total of 2 glitches that I can really remember. One of them was in Cyberpunk, and I sort of snuck up behind somebody and went to like try and do the silent takedown thing. But there was a box, there was a box or a chair or something in front of him. So what it did is it moved my whole sprite. It made that
Ah.
contact and tried to clip, and then it slid me to the left. But what it did is it left my guns and hands there. So
Yeah.
I'm standing there with nothing. I turn to the left, I can see my gun shooting from the air, and I'm just standing there. And then I just fucking died because I couldn't aim, I couldn't do anything. And I was just sitting there like pissing myself laughing.
No,
But
I
yeah,
went
I'm
back to
stuck
try
in
and
this
replicate it in the same spot and couldn't replicate it.
I'm stuck in this
The-
crystal. I'm thinking I gotta get back to a save, and I eventually happen to get out. I'm just cacking myself the whole time.
the best
oh.
glitch that I've ever seen someone have is one of my friends playing Fallout 3. He had the guy, the mysterious stranger show up. The
Yep.
mysterious stranger gets absolutely mauled by a pack of death claws, dies, and then the body just starts flinging about, shooting everyone. And he goes over, and because Bethesda is so smart in these things, the golden gun was a pick-upable item. The one-shot golden gun weapon. And he's just going through the game just, oh yeah, boom.
That's
That's
fantastic.
funny.
But yeah, that's the thing. There are glitches that make you go, really? What the fuck? This is the worst fucking thing ever. And there's glitches that you look at and just go, that's fucking legendary.
I got done on one tonight in Fallen Order. It's a 5-year-old game, but I'll still give the spoiler alert. So when you're trying to get your lightsaber fixed,
You get a
Um,
lightsaber in that game.
yeah, who'd have thought? You're trying to get it fixed, so you're running around this whole thing. You don't have your lightsaber. Like every time you go to pull it out, he's like, yeah, he reaches for it, and then he like drops his shoulders, and it looks very sad. But there's like fucking recon droids floating around, so they started shooting at me. So by habit, I like hit the deflect button, and he like reached for it. The lightsaber popped out, and then for like 2 or 3 minutes, I was running around with a lightsaber, double-bladed lightsaber, hanging off his belt, going through him top and bottom.
I had
And
the
I'm
same
just-
thing.
And I'm just looking, and I went to try and meditate, and the game locked up there, and then I'm like fucking going, well, what am I going to do now? Like,
I didn't even play it on PC. I had the same glitch.
No, the best one that I've seen is actually in a game called Draft. Because one thing that you do is when somebody gets knocked out, you toss them over your shoulder to carry them back.
yep.
They had a glitch out where the person seemed to vanish from their shoulder. They pulled out their fucking spear from the back, and the guy's hanging off the spear. And just,
I fucking
Oh.
love those sorts of visual glitches. And look,
I think
working in
Tegan and I were there
IT,
for that.
I do get it. Like I'm a little bit more understanding. I get
no
really
matter what,
frustrated.
you can't get rid of all of them.
Absolutely, man. And this is the thing, like you beta test the shit out of stuff, and then the release happens, and you go from having 1,000 or 10,000 players to 100 or 1,000,000 players. Like you're talking, tenfold or 100-fold. Like you can't
Yeah.
predict every possible situation.
The thing that really
Um,
shits me is the forum divers. Like, I mean, let's say that there is a store, like a retail store for Dota, right? Bear with me. Trying to think of an analogy. Retail store for Dota just sells Dota stuff, etc. Someone comes in and goes, "Explain this hero and why they're broken." Everyone knows they're broken. Well, they're not. Look at this. Pulls up a forum. See, everyone. No, you've just gone forum diving, and there's 50 people that have all aligned because they have the same view. When there are over 13 million active players, and these 50, no, they don't represent 13 million people.
the whole thing for it is right, and this is the simplest thing. Yeah, it's a big hospitality thing. It's a big retail thing. Ginger, I know you're going to appreciate this. One compliment from a customer or a client is worth 10, 20, 50 bad reviews. Because the thing is, like, if I order my pizza, right, and I get my pizza and I fucking wolf it down, I'm like, fuck me, that was the best pizza I've ever eaten. I'm gonna go play video games. That's what's going to happen. Like, I'm going to go play video games, or I'm going to go watch a movie, or I'm going to go have a beer, or whatever the fuck I'm going to do. But if that pizza's bad, someone's going to fucking hear about it, right? And that is the harsh reality. Like, again, like, you guys are playing the game that you guys are playing. You're not gonna. You're enjoying it. You're clearly having a good time. You're not jumping online and go, "Hey, everybody, I'm playing this game and it's fucking awesome." You are playing the game and enjoying it, and therefore continue to play it. Right?
Mm.
Exactly as Mitch was saying with Fallout stuff. Like, I've never had game breaking glitches in those games, and I'm playing it and I'm enjoying it. Like, it's you get the little glitches. The lightsaber going through your fucking body, hanging off your belt. It's funny. It's ha funny, and that's it. Like, it's not. It doesn't take away from the story. It doesn't take away from the experience.
Yeah.
But the problem is, and this is the problem, is, and again, especially with everybody getting together, like going back to that link cable situation, if that happened today, Nintendo would go bankrupt. I firmly believe that if Nintendo released the Game Link cable today, because for some reason they've gone old school, they released that today and somebody lost their fucking legendary Pokemon, Nintendo would go bankrupt shortly after. Doesn't matter if the fail rate is 1%. Doesn't matter if the fail rate's 0.1%. Everybody would jump online, and this link cable is a piece of shit and never works, because that is the voice, and you end up with that echo chamber effect where everybody's jumping on.
Yeah.
And it might be 50 people across the world have had this bad experience, and everybody jumps on and echo chambers it.
But then
Mhm.
there's the people who just do it for the clout, and they'll edit something which is false
Yep.
to fit in and go, look at this breaking thing, when either that bug doesn't exist, or they've edited something they've done to emulate or look like an existing bug.
Yeah.
And
Or even
it's
that they found out how the bug happened, worked through the code on it.
Mm.
Because the thing is, like, when people start deep diving into the code of it, and this has happened forever, and this is how the Masingo, speedrun shit happens in even in Gen 1 games, is people have stripped apart the code for it.
Yeah.
And they look at the source code and they find these mistakes. Like, and again, like, Rem started doing a little bit of coding, but it takes one fucking character out of place to break a script. Like, one set of quotation marks, one fucking thing. And when you're talking, and that's on, 10, 20, 30 lines of code. Imagine when you've got 1,000 or 100,000 lines of code in a piece of software. It's one of those things. Yes, like, they should be doing better, and they are trying to patch this shit out. But at the end of the day, it's, the industry's in a rough spot, because, as I said, as soon as nobody talks about how great their pizza was that they got, everybody will talk about that one time they got a shit pizza from that store. Doesn't matter that they've bought 50 fucking pizzas, 49 of them were the best pizza they've ever eaten. What they remember is the one pizza that came out cold, or the toppings weren't on it properly, or whatever the fuck is wrong with it.
it's the way we're
Everybody remembers
hardwired.
that one.
We
The
are
fact that Ginger got caught in traffic on the way there and was 10 minutes later than he should have been, that pizza joint is now a fucking write-off. And
sadly
this is the
it's
problem. Like,
yeah.
when you talk about it in a retail sense, everyone goes, "Oh yeah, no," and it is fucked, because everybody's worked in that service industry, but nobody talks about it in other industries. Like,
Exactly.
Yep. But no, sadly, it's the way we're hardwired. As a species, we are hardwired. I'm speaking very generically here, like blanket statement. We're
Yeah.
hardwired to remember the bad things to help us survive.
yes,
Right?
absolutely.
In the wild, we remember, don't eat that berry. You'll be shitting liquid for the next day. Right?
Very bad.
Don't do it again. Whereas if you just, I don't know, have some fun, whatever that may be, running around in the sun or whatever, it's kind of,
Yeah.
oh, that was fun, but now I gotta eat. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Berries.
berries are
Oh
bad.
wait, no, don't touch the berries. I remember the berries.
Yeah.
Right. That's just the way we're
Absolutely.
hardwired.
And as I said, the fact that we can echo chamber so easily now as well.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, and the fact
Yeah.
that it just takes something so small to get the ball rolling too. Like,
And-
people are already look at I'm not sure whether it's Tears or Tear. I think it's Tears. Tears of the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild sequel coming out.
Mm.
Right. I am not a fan of Breath of the Wild. I own it. I have played it. I couldn't get into it. I've never been a huge Zelda fan, and that's me. The game itself is fantastic. I'm not a huge fan, but I'll happily admit the game is absolutely superb. The sequel also looks phenomenal, right? But a small little pebble has been knocked off, and it's gotten bigger and bigger, and people are already going, "Oh, have you noticed this? Have you noticed that?" And it's just pointing at all the things, and people are now worried about this game. And we've seen nothing bad about it. People are just
Yeah.
creating their own bullshit.
Yeah.
So I'm using a very specific example, but it's just
No, I get you.
I noticed you chuckling away there, Ginger.
Because of an opinion I have when it comes to Zelda.
Fair
What's
enough.
that?
Ocarina of Time is the most overrated game of all time.
I think this is the most annoyed I've ever seen Ram.
No, I
if
can understand that. Ocarina of Time was a very good game, and yes, it was the forerunner for its system, which was one of the top-selling systems of its time, which made it.
look at him list
big
off
thing.
these fucking facts, he is furious.
But at the same time, I actually enjoyed Majora's Mask more because of the dark aspect to it.
Is that a vein popping out of his head?
This is not me saying it's a bad game.
No,
It's a good game,
I
but
wasn't
it's the
saying
most
that. I
overrated
agreed.
game of all
No,
time.
That's the
The,
thing.
the thing is, you could say
I
the same thing
agreed
about a
with
lot of
you.
games. You could say the same thing about a lot of games, though, Ginger. Like Final Fantasy VII. I
Don't
think
you
it's
dare.
overrated.
I will kick you out of this channel.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, fantastic, guys. Like, but again, it's one of those things that it's like it is like the gold standard of JRPGs.
It is.
It is
Oh,
the
yeah.
best JRPG of all time.
It is.
It's just that you're not into that
Yeah.
exact style.
And you're
Yeah,
allowed to
that's
be
the
wrong
thing.
once in a while, Matt. That's fine.
I've never liked the art style of Final Fantasy. Like, I've looked at Final Fantasy 14 or whatever the fuck it is, the online one,
Yeah.
It's a
a
good
couple
game.
of times, and they're just, people are raving about the gameplay, raving about how it's built, but I can't get into the art style of
Yeah,
it. Like,
that's
and
fair.
Fair enough.
So, to me, the reason I say that Ocarina of Time is so overrated is they literally just rehashed A Link to the Past and turned it into a 3D game. It's the same freaking story.
A lot of it, yeah.
all right.
That's the thing. They kept on saying I was pissed off. I was agreeing with you.
Well, so just to bring things back, because I have let this drift for a while.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
say,
looking
like,
at the time.
I believe we were supposed to do like what team we ended
Pokemon.
up at.
Well, yeah, we kind of look. As I said, I gave you guys an agenda, as a rough
And no intention
guideline.
of following it.
Yeah, and I have purposefully let this run off course a fair bit more than normal because we were flying through some topics, and this sparked some genuinely good conversation. So I was happy to let it fly. I will always bring it back when needed. But out of curiosity, in Gen 1, to wrap up the night, what was the party you would usually end up with at the Elite Four? Who would like to go
Ginger,
first?
go.
I've
Ginger,
been thinking about it all night.
Yep.
If I were to replay through the game today, I can tell you exactly what it'd be.
Yep.
Gengar, Tauros, Victory Bell, Starmie, Jolteon, and Dugtrio. And I will wipe the floor with that game.
Yeah.
The reason a lot of those Pokemon are chosen, purely for their speed stat. In Gen 1, the way critical hits worked, which, spoiler alert, focus energy as a move just did not work. Like, it literally did nothing in the game. Instead of making you more likely to hit critical hits, it actually caused your critical hit ratio to hit a negative number, and you would never crit.
Wow.
But your crit ratio was tied to your speed stat. So the faster you were, the more you would crit. And the reason Victory Bell is on there is it's the fastest grass type, and that plus Razor Leaf means it's a crit machine.
Fair enough. Rem.
Same reason for Dugtrio. Dugtrio, you hit Slash, you're automatically gonna crit.
Fair enough.
Alrighty, Mitch. Your party of 6.
Yeah, for me, you have to remember that I played the majority of it outside of friends. Like, I played Red honestly, while others were starting to play silver and gold and stuff like that,
I remember that.
because I actually got my Game Boy later than a lot of people
Yep.
did. Because I had the original Game Boy, but I also had Game Boy Color. And yeah, that being said, my Pokemon had nothing to do with the most effective or the most. It was literally a list of my favorites of back then.
I was the same.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So I'm not asking what
And
would you pick today. I'm asking what was it back then. You don't need to
As
clarify
my-
ours because we
Yeah,
understand
I'm
that your picks
I'm
are
also
wrong. It's
trying
fine.
to I'm trying to remember this that's the name of it.
Speaking of remembering Pokemon names, how good was the original Pokemon rap? Poke rap.
True. But yeah.
Oh
Yes.
God,
Have fun
Yeah.
sleeping tonight.
it was so cringe.
Oh, yeah.
Have fun sleeping tonight. Anyway,
Yeah. My end team would be Nidoking, Butterfree, Pidgeot, Poliwrath, Vaporeon, and Kabutops.
you used to love Vaporeon. I
Yeah.
remember
A
that
lot,
vividly.
a lot of fucking water types there.
Yes, but they'd absolutely wipe the floor with people.
Yeah, they would. My
Yeah.
6, back then was Dragonite. As in, like the first time I got to the Elite Four, Dragonite, Snorlax. I usually had a Charizard. Usually had a Nidoking, or no, I'll leave that in. Yeah, Nidoking and Raichu, I believe. 5. What else did I? Oh, that's right, Golem or a Gengar. One of those two.
Yeah.
That was my go-to back then. A couple of those would be
Fair,
different
fair.
today, naturally, but yeah. Matt, have you done yours?
For me, no, I haven't yet. So it'd be Venusaur, because as much as I think Squirtle's the best starter, Venusaur was my boy. Venusaur, Gyarados, either a Kadabra or Alakazam, depending on whether I could get the trade off or
That's
not.
what I was thinking. Yeah. Alakazam.
Those three. What have I got? Those three. So that's
Hmm.
usually some sort of fighting. So either Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee.
Yep.
Again, if I could find them. Pidgeot and a Raichu.
Yeah.
It was not a good party, but with
Well,
everything I know now,
same. Like I mean, at least 2 or 3 of the Pokemon that I mentioned would be swapped out today.
Oh, yeah. Like,
I mean,
Ah.
as a kid, I thought the Nido Queen, Nido King were fucking terrible, but
And I mean, I think we'd
I
all be
thought, like-
lying if our picks at some point in time in Gen 1 or Gen 2 were not heavily influenced by the anime. I had
Yep,
a
that's why I
Kingbot
loved
in my
Pokemon
party for a long time purely because of the Elite
Hmm.
Four fights.
I loved Pokemon Yellow. The reason it was my favorite game is you could build Ash's party from Gen 1. So you could have Charizard, you could have the Pikachu, the Charizard, the Squirtle, though I ended up evolving all mine up in their final evolutions because it's brains. Pidgeot and Butterfree were the 6 Pokemon I took to Elite Four in Yellow.
Oh, yeah.
Really quick, who do you think Ash's strongest Pokemon was?
Pikachu's level 100 at least.
No, nowhere near.
It's not Pikachu.
It's not Pikachu. Nah, again, Matt Pat is not accurate on a lot of things. However,
Charizard.
Pikachu is actually rather low level with Ash, considering that
Hmm.
he's been in very few battles and such.
Yeah.
No,
But it's
It's
not
his Snor-
Pikachu.
it's his Snorlax.
Better say, yeah,
For-
it's got to
for-
be his Snorlax his
For
Dragonite.
one specific reason.
What's that?
His Snorlax knows 5 moves. Yep.
He's got
Yeah.
he's got a Mega Punch or something. He's got, I'm sure, Rest, Headbutt, Slam,
Body Slam.
Body Slam, yeah.
He also has Surf.
No.
don't think he has that.
Snorlax. No,
Yeah, his
sorry.
Surf.
He has 6 moves.
He was
His-
able to swim in the
His
series,
original-
yeah.
No, he has 6 moves. Protect, Headbutt, Hyper Beam, Ice Punch, Rest, and Body Slam.
Yeah. But Pikachu
So he's
also has
worth-
Iron Tail, Agility, Thunder,
No.
Thunderbolt.
He's those have all like replaced one move or another for the time. Pikachu has only ever had 4 moves at a time.
Hmm.
No. Ash's Snorlax is seen using these 6 moves in one battle.
Interesting. Anyway, yeah, I would still say he's Snorlax or Dragonite.
I mean, again, you can't really put the show and the game side by side and take them both as the same law.
Exactly,
Well, no,
especially when you've got
every other Pokemon follows that 4 move thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
except that the fucking Bunnelby or whatever his name is grounds himself out to make him an Earth type and immune to electricity.
Then you've got this freaking lighthouse-sized Dragonite. You've got a Crystal Onyx. You've got there's an episode where Ash is being manipulated somehow to see
Aim for the horn.
to see
Aim for the horn.
Yeah, to see a cross, like a fusion between Venusaur and Blastoise to create Venustoise. Fucking look that up. That happened.
Fusion, ha!
Yeah, Venustoise was a thing in the anime once. Fucking anyway. Yeah, so no, you can't cross the anime with game. But anyway,
My favorite show for Pokemon is still Pokemon Rusty, and if you guys haven't seen it, then shame on you. Go and Google that shit.
the one thing that threw me off was there was an episode with Ninetales in season 1 that was it was pretty much a psychic Pokemon. The Ninetales created this whole illusion around this mansion, and it was just fucked up. Anyway,
Ninetales can learn Psychic, so
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm speaking as a child. I'm still a child at heart. Anyway,
there's still
You're
one thing that I feel they missed in the latest games if they did bring it in from the anime.
Yep.
The ancient Pokemon in Scarlet, they actually had ancient Pokemon in the anime, and they had those cool tattoo kind of symbols all over them.
yep,
You
it
don't
was
see
it was an Alakazam and a Gengar.
And a Jigglypuff.
Don't get me
But
started
yeah.
on the legendaries from Scarlet and Violet. They are not legendaries.
But yeah, just the ancient Pokemon in that had those symbols on. They didn't even think to add anything like that in the Scarlet. They just changed up completely to make it look more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we did go on a lot of tangents tonight, and I purposely let that happen because it was pretty good conversation. We will be doing more Pokemon themed stuff in the
hell yeah.
future, filled with more Pokemon content. We're still learning. We're still learning as we go. When we do those, we'll try and get Ginger back if possible for those.
Yeah, because I didn't even get to talk about the best Pokemon.
We did talk about the best Pokemon. It's Magikarp.
It's Shuckle.
Anyway, so we're definitely going to try and get Ginger back for those because Ginger is honestly very passionate about this topic, which is why he's here talking tonight. When he got the chance.
But, Shedinja.
Shuckle.
Anyway,
Magikarp. Kami, in post edit, could you every time he says Shuckle, can you just the best Pokemon is clearly Magikarp.
Just have the most robotic Magikarp.
I've got voice to text software that I use for work. I'll download a WAV file, I'll flick it over to you. That'd be great.
I swear to God.
Ginger, just for the record, who is the best Pokemon?
Magikarp.
It's Shuckle. I've already said so.
And his camera's jammed too. Dear. Anyway, alrighty. You're back now. All right, cool. We never did figure out. Well, sorry. Thank you for watching us through all of our tangents and everything tonight. Really do appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Regardless, I know there are a couple of people who watch this archived because of the time that we do stream this. So again, thank you to all of you. Whenever we really did figure out who the fuck was the Ditto, I mean, we keep missing this kind of week on, week out. But regardless of all of that, thank you for.
I know who it is.
Hearing us out.
It's Kami.